Shio gang, so here is part 2 of doing the root tree for Greek and Latin roots, as well as some little shortcuts to help with any of your digital assignments that might require Google Slides or Google Docs or any of that stuff. So my computer shut down on me, so there'll be some things typed on here that weren't before, so sorry for the incontinuities. It's like take 2 or 3 for me. So on here we have how the best idea if you have to make lots of text boxes that are approximately the same size and you don't want to keep resizing 25 different gigantic text boxes, you just copy and paste them. And so, yes, you can right click and then go and then get your paste and your copy and stuff, but like all these little things put together are little ways that make it faster, and all put together they have a very big difference in how much time you have to spend on like the less important parts of your assignments. So just click that box. ctrl+c is to copy. Practice it with a box a couple times so you get it into your muscle memory. ctrl+c does that, and then ctrl+v does the pasting, and you can do that as many times as you want. And that's too many for me, so that's when I can hit my magical ctrl+z, which is undo. And it's a fantastic skill. So right here, ctrl+z has gotten me out of a lot of stuff. You're working on a big assignment late at night and, oh no, I just deleted everything. What shall I do? I spent hours on this. Oh no. Now, there are undo buttons up here, or in Docs it might be in one of these, and that's fine. You can take your time and press that, but what works best for me is just a quick ctrl+z, and it undoes the last thing that you did. And overall, in my experience, it makes it a lot quicker. So, and type in, and then you're like, oh man, none of that stuff makes sense in that paragraph. You can sit there and backspace, and keep doing that for every letter, or just ctrl+z. Boom, gone. If you do one too many, then you can hit ctrl+y, and it brings it back for redo. So those are some things that can help make your assignments go quicker, as well as making sure that instead of resizing things on the sides or on the top, you're using the corner so that you don't get warped images that you then spend. I've seen some of you, you really care about your work, so, you're sitting there really trying to, turn it back into a normal looking picture by resizing, and I appreciate that effort, but that's not something you should have to spend all that effort in. So, try to remember to use the corners, and it makes your life easier. So, now, when we are doing our Google searches, because we need to get words that go with whatever root you chose, which isn't port because I chose port. So whichever one you use, we need to find words that use that root word. And we need good Google searches. So, and then to put your meanings here. So here's, as I said, my computer shut down, so you'll see some of it. Now, one thing I have found is that the more general your Google searches are, the more generic the results we get are. That's just how it is, the web browsers have millions and billions of things to filter through. So if you don't put in enough information, it's not usually going to get very specific for you. So instead of searching up port, something like that, and really having to put in a lot of extra work, I am going to type in root word port list. Okay, and I found that that is something that generally gives me very good search results because it's also tailored to the assignment that I'm doing. So that's going to cut down on dictionary time for me. That's going to cut down, on all sorts of things, because there's a good chance that now the results I have are going to give me exactly what I'm looking for, which is my root word, a list of words that I can use to fill my tree, and probably their meaning. So I go here, and one of the things I noticed is that someone made a Quizlet just for port words. So, yay me, I'm feeling lucky, so that's what I'm going to check first, because that means somebody else has put in the work to putting this information together. And yes, they have. So the first one is export. And we know from our class The prefix X means outside, like going through the exit, and port we now know means to carry. So you put those two things together and you get a general meaning of to carry outside. So now we have to find out like more specifically how that word is used in the English language, but just by knowing those parts, we can make a decent guess about it, which is nice. So it is to carry out of the country. So that's the little specific detail on there, is out of the country. Fantastic. But we still have carry, we have out, and our language just applies that to the country. So I'm going to go to my root tree, and my first word that I successfully have is export. And let's make that nice and pretty. No, okay, not very. So export, so that's on my word tree now. Then I go to my words and meanings from my tree. I already changed up here to port, because that's my root word. And here's our examples. And this is why it's very good to type in root word list dent, because otherwise you might be getting things that have to do with like dents, where you crush something. And we need the Greek or Latin root word, which means teeth. So that's where a good Google search is helpful. And yeah, just cuts down on your work. By putting in a better Google search, you're making Google do the work for you, which is what it's there for. So export says to carry goods outside of the country. Perfect. And these meanings aren't going to be exact dictionary definitions, because the purpose of this activity is to get used to using the words, seeing the root words, and recognizing their meaning, and like recognizing that, okay, this is going to have something to do with carry and something to do with outside. So that's how we're forming that's why I just put meaning instead of definition. So next, we can go back to our Quizlet. See what the next one is? Import. Excellent. Import is to carry back into the country. Fantastic. So like, if we in the US, we grow a ton of corn, and there's a country out there that their soil or resources are really bad for growing corn, that means we have an excess and they have a need. So we ship or export our corn to another country. And then if they make something that we need, they export it and we import it. So we bring it in from that country. And that's how that works. But you don't have to know the specifics. You just have to like get the general meanings here. So I'm going to go back to my Google search, because let's say you didn't get lucky and kitty. You didn't get lucky and you didn't get Quizlet flashcards. That's okay, because since we know how to make specific Google searches, a lot of these are going to be good. So we go here. And let's see, wonderful. They have already made a beautiful root tree for me. So to carry, and all these wonderful words out there. So I'm going to find one. It says portable. Now we know port is to carry, able is able to be done, put them together, able to be carried. So the more specific meaning is something portable, can be carried or moved around easily. All right, and so that's all you got to do. Is we can go now and put in portable. And if you want to make your tree pretty, you are absolutely allowed to do that. So I'll make mine starting to look like an autumn tree, because it's kind of lame looking. So portable. Go here, put in portable, and then put in the meaning. All right, and then I'll even find things like airport. So to carry something through the air. The airport is where we go before we get on a plane, which means we're going to be carried through the air. It's not how we would word that in conversation, but that is where the word gets its meaning from. All right? So I hope that this helped out a little bit and helps you get yours completed. So you'll keep finding words to fill up your root word tree and use this as an opportunity. Oh no, now I have to try to perfectly align this box back to those this picture back to those boxes. Oh, that's going to be a pain. Except it's not. I'm going to hit ctrl+z. Exactly where it needs to be. All right. Yeah. So there's yours. But let's say like I do have my box on here, and for some reason like I keep clicking this picture instead of the word port. That would mean that this picture is in front for whatever reason. And if I don't want that, I go ahead to arrange while this clicked, and you can see that it's clicked. So I go to arrange, order, and then send backward. and that sends this picture backwards so I can reach anything that might have been hidden by it before. So, you know, I hope some of these kind of make it a little bit easier for you. And that covers it for our Greek and Latin root tree. So thanks so much. I hope you got something out of it. If not, I'll try to come up with a better, more challenging assignment. So have a wonderful day, and thank you so much.